live. Hopefully you can see me. I'm live tonight as usual on Sunday night. I do my Sunday night what sold on eBay. Over the weekend, I show you what I sold for the weekend. And tonight we have a special guest. I have Rachel from Thrifty Birds here. She's here and ready to go on. And I'm just going to check real quick to make sure that the live video is showing up for you guys. I'm going to check that on my phone and do a quick post Instagram as usual to let them know that we're live. But let me check my YouTube. Yeah, it shows that I'm live on YouTube. So let me tell Instagram that we're live, and then we'll get started. We'll bring Rachel on. Hey guys, we're live now, me and Rachel from Thrifty Birds, so make sure you come over to my YouTube channel and watch us. Links in the bio. Thanks. Okay, we gotta turn down my volume real quick because we know I don't like to listen to myself talk. Okay, let's bring on Rachel. Hello.
Oh, you know you like to listen to yourself talk. Come on.
I don't know. I like to talk. I just don't like to hear it back.
That's pretty funny. Oh, man, I'm so disappointed about the game. I've been heartbroken by all of my teams this year. College football, now NFL. It's like, crap.
I'm telling you, I'm not even a 49ers fan, but I wanted them to win. So I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It was my neighbor. Yeah, my youngest was at the neighbor's house watching the game. And the neighbor had texted me and said, hey, I told Kaylee that she has to be a Chiefs fan for the night. And I texted back and said, no, she has to be rooting for the 49ers. Otherwise, our good friends, we have some family friends that are huge 49ers fans. In fact, he was at the game tonight. That was his brother's birthday gift to him, was that he got to go to the Super Bowl. So I texted back and I said, no, you tell Kaylee that she has to root for the 49ers. And then the neighbor's like texting me over and over, like, I can't believe this is happening. And I'm like, what? What's happening?
They were ahead and it went downhill from there.
I'm telling you.
It's NFL's over, college is over. I'm just waiting for college football to come back. It's so fun to watch. If you don't watch, whoever's watching this, if you don't watch college football, you're all missing out because it is fun. So,
who's your college football team?
Georgia.
Okay, an Ohio State fan.
No.
That's right.
No,
I think we've had this conversation.
No, Georgia.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think so too.
Obviously.
It's a friendly rivalry, people, don't worry.
Oh, yeah, no. We have one watcher right now, which it's Heather. Heather the reseller says hello. I'm going to I can put people's comments up on the board.
Hi, Heather.
There was another comment that she said hello, but I don't know where that one went. But yeah, look at this fun little fanciness we have going on. We can
look at you. You got all the gadgets now. And
it only took me all evening to figure out how to do it. I'm glad
we did the test round earlier.
Oh my gosh. It would have been awful if we didn't test it. And I feel really bad for you because for those of you just watching, we're kind of talking amongst ourselves here, but I had told Rachel that I was going to do a test run with her, but then my mom called. And whenever I see my mom, and I love my mom dearly, this is not shade or anything being rude, but whenever I see my mom's name pop up on my phone, I have to legitimately think, do I want to answer it right now? Do I have time to answer it? Because I know that there's no way I'm getting off the phone in less than an hour. And today we were on the phone for 2 hours. And we're going to spend the whole day tomorrow together. We're going to go thrifting and out to lunch tomorrow. So why we needed to talk for 2 hours today is beyond me. But yeah, so we ended up...
Don't you all live close to each other too?
6 minutes.
Why didn't you just
6 minutes apart. We live 6 minutes from each other. It's craziness. I don't know why we have to talk so much. I'm not ignoring you. I'm changing the link. So anyone on Instagram that wants to come watch, they have the correct link because it's the wrong link that's up right now. So.
Oh, okay. So you guys are going sourcing then tomorrow?
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm kind of on a sourcing freeze. I don't really want to spend very much money, but it's going to be so nice here tomorrow. It was really nice here today. It was in the 50s. It's going to be in the 50s again tomorrow, and then Tuesday
Mm-hmm.
is going to rain. So, and then we're supposed to like get back down into the 30s. So I want to go just get out of the house tomorrow. So I asked her if she wanted to go to some thrift stores, and then she's going to treat me to lunch, and it's going to be one of those
How
things.
fun. How fun. Yeah, it's supposed to be 70 here tomorrow. My husband, who's a mailman, he was just so excited. He's like, woo! No
That's
rain and it's gonna
fantastic.
be 70 degrees.
No, I'm sure you probably
So
saw on my Instagram yesterday it was 32, 33 and snowing. And then today it was
I saw
53
the
and
snow.
sunny. Like, I don't know how we're all not going to be sick. It makes no sense. In fact, it's funny, right? There, it's probably fallen off, but the stories were right back to back, the snow and then the sun. So
Hmm. Hmm.
it's just a wild time. But
It
yeah,
it likes to do this to us. It fakes us out. It goes to like, oh, it's gonna be spring. No, we're gonna go to
yep,
another winter and then go to spring and then winter
I know.
again. So
I know. I don't. There has been such a massive flu outbreak around here. Like, I'm crossing all my fingers and toes that we don't get it. They actually, one of the elementary schools here in town closed on Friday because they had such a high rate of absences due to
jeez.
flu. Because if it's
Hmm.
like, I think it's 20%. I think if 20% of the students are out sick, they have to cancel school. And so one of the elementary schools, they just got wiped out. They had so many kids out sick with the flu. So
Wow.
luckily, I'm knocking on all the wood. My kids haven't gotten it, and I'm really. This is one of the things I'm grateful that they're all now middle school and high school. Not that they can't get sick there, but it's not quite as, there aren't kids with fingers in their mouth and stuff over there mostly. So there's a little bit less of a sickness risk. But
They have
no,
other
I'm.
problems going on, I'm
Oh
sure.
my gosh, yeah, they're putting other things in their mouth. I'm not kidding you. It's like, oh, but if we get sick with that flu, this has been my biggest fear. Is I don't want us to get the flu. If we can make it through the winter, we'll
I
see.
hear it's been pretty bad, bad migraine headaches and things like that. It's a little different than it's been in years before, but
Yeah,
hopefully
they
I'll just
present
get
it
it.
differently. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So, do we want to wait a few more minutes and see if anybody else pops in, or?
Well, it's always touch and go with this. Like I told you, you kind of have to prove yourself, let people know, like, hey, you can count on me being here. So this
Yeah.
is kind of exciting about starting a new series here on YouTube is that I've been gone for so long. I haven't posted anything in so long that people aren't used to watching. And so I got to like prove myself, like, I promise I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here on Sundays. So um, they'll come and go. I'm hoping, though, that maybe we'll get a few more today since there's two of us in here talking away. But we
Okay.
can go ahead for the people that are going to watch this on the playback. We can go ahead and start showing what we sold for the weekend.
Did you go on
Um,
Instagram and let them know that we're live,
I
or?
did. I did.
Okay.
I told them on Instagram that we're live and I
Okay.
updated the link. So hopefully a lot of my Instagram followers, I don't either they come and they watch and they don't say hello or they don't come and watch. I haven't figured it out yet, but we'll get there. It's going to get there. I'm excited about the potential of these little Sunday night shows. It's
Yeah,
kind of a
definitely.
fun. And I did
Definitely.
see there's somebody, at least one other person is live. One of the bigger sellers is live right now. So we also are
Oh,
competing
okay.
against, competing with somebody else, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. People watch this back on the playback. If you're watching the playback, make sure you leave a comment and let us know that you did come watch it. Come watch it back and say hello to us.
Say
Um,
hello.
I only had 4 sales all weekend. This has been a terrible weekend for me, and I'm it's depressing. And I've been listing all weekend. That's the thing. If I was taking the weekend off and being lazy, I wouldn't think much about it. But I've had
Hmm.
so much activity on in my store that it just doesn't make sense that that's all. And it's not even a matter of, well, I've been getting offers and not accepting them. I haven't even been getting offers. Everything that's come through has sold. I sent a bunch of
Wow.
offers to watchers this afternoon, hoping that that would generate some more sales so I'd have more to show. That didn't
Uh-huh.
happen. I felt so horrible. I sent 2 offers to watchers about an hour ago, thinking like, oh, maybe one of them will turn into a sale. And
Uh-huh.
one of the things I sent offers on was this. It's a two coffee cups, like a set of coffee cups,
Okay.
and they are on sale for $17.99, and I was going to send a 30% off offer, so it would have made it
Mhm.
from the original price, 30% off the original price. It would have
Right,
made it
right.
$14. So I went to
Hmm.
send the $14 offer and accidentally typed $17 and sent it. So they're watching an item for $17.99, and then I'm the jerk that sends them a $17 offer. So I'm like, oh, they're not going to buy those cups from me. I meant to send him an offer for 14, but it went out as 17. So, oh well.
I have to tell you, that's what my husband does when we get lowball offers. Because he has the app on his phone also. So we
Yeah,
both get a ka-ting.
that's how we are
And
too.
and he's like, this person offered $5. What are they thinking? And he'll come back with a counter offer of like 2 pennies below the sale price. I got one today for $1.
Oh,
Mhm.
really? Wow.
Yeah. No,
That's a
no,
you didn't sell it? You didn't take that
no,
deal?
no, 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 no. Okay, so do you want to show some? You want to do an off and on type
Yeah,
thing where you
I'm gonna save
you
my
want to show
best
some
sale
stuff?
for last, but we'll just kind of do. I only have 4, so I'll show one, then you
Okay,
can show a couple or whatever you want to do.
okay.
Um,
Let me see how. I'll tell you how many that I've sold so far this
yeah,
weekend.
I want to know how
Well,
are your sales this weekend? Because mine
they've
stunk.
been they have been pretty decent. It's pretty average.
So it's been a good
Uh,
weekend, like okay, normal weekend for
yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm getting sales. Today's been kind of eh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, today's been
okay.
quiet. And, I thought there'd be a lot of shoppers tonight. I thought there'd be a lot of women watching the game with their husband and shopping online.
And
But
spending the
no, at
money.
least not for me. Because it does usually,
Um,
a lot of times happen. A lot of times I'll get sales
yeah. So
when
I
the,
had 17 that have paid, and I'm waiting for 2. I'm sorry, 3 haven't paid yet. But on an average weekend from Friday till Monday, early Monday morning, because my cutoff, I do same day shipping. So Monday through
oh, do you?
Thursday,
Okay.
yes, because I live 2 miles from the post office and I can just take it to my husband and he'll scan it or whatever. So I have same day shipping Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I have it purposely set up to where I don't ship on Friday or Saturday because during yard sale season, that's what I like to do. Fridays
Gotcha.
and Saturdays, I'm out. I don't want to have to worry about shipping. So I've just kind of left it that way, even though it's not yard sale season. It's really easy for me to do. My cutoff is at noon, Monday through Thursday. So probably by noon tomorrow, I should have 20, 25 packages or so going out. And that's about the average weekend for me.
That's great. And when did you start selling? Like how long have you been selling?
I started in 2000
So
on
you've been doing
early.
this a while.
I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
Since Moby Dick was a guppy. I started doing it really early and very, very, very part time.
Okay.
So I've just kind of recently been like full time gung ho for probably about the last 4 years or so, and I
Okay.
love it. I,
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I don't like so much of the inconsistencies, so many of the glitches and the problems, but who does? So,
Yeah. Well, and I think that's because I originally started my eBay journey years ago, like before my
mhm,
daughters were born, and then I quit because it was hard. It was hard with little babies, and so I stopped doing it,
mhm,
which I kick myself for not getting back to it because I just think about where my store would be now if I would have came back, but I didn't.
mhm.
So I can't, you can't change what you didn't do. So I really have only been doing this now for about a year and a half. So I try not to be
Okay.
too hard on myself because I'm still fairly new and there's a lot of competition and but I have, like you say, it's fun. Like I really like doing it, and it's a lot of fun. And so I just keep plugging along and
Well, that's all you can do. Just keep picking up stuff, keep listing,
you know,
keep your store active. As far as the promoted listings and stuff like that, I think it's a crapshoot. It could
yep.
be either way. I don't know how much of that really affects everything. I've tried changing my amounts on promoted listings and doesn't really seem to affect anything.
See,
So
that's
I
what I've been playing around with. Now I did notice I had my entire store promoted at 1%. Like I know that's nothing, but at least it was promoted.
right.
um and it was a couple months ago, and I don't remember what exactly happened, but something happened, and like everybody was saying like well, if it was when they changed it to where they wouldn't be showing the promoted listing and the organic listing. They were either
Right.
going to show one or the other. And everybody
Right.
lost their minds, and they're like, so that means we'll never have a sale unless it's promoted, and blah 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 blah. And I got scared like everybody else, and I took off all my promoted.
Mm-hmm.
And I was promoting my entire store 1%, and then I was promoting nothing. And no joke, my sales just died.
Oh, wow.
So I started slowly trying, like, I slowly added in women's clothing and men's clothing and shoes. And now I'm back to promoting my entire store again, but I have it all promoted at 3%, which I know isn't much, but
Mm-hmm.
I know it's better than no promotion because I found out without promoting at all, I was getting nothing. So maybe someday I'll try around with some of the higher percentages, but it makes me nervous. I'm like, I'm already paying so many fees. I don't really want to pay
I
anymore.
know. I know. I'm going to go under my promoted tab and I'll tell you. I have my entire store. I have 900 and some odd,
Oh
almost a
yeah, you have a
thousand
lot more
listings.
listings than me.
And it just seems like the more I keep trying to get back up to that 1,000 mark. And, I know it sounds like a terrible
Sorry.
problem to have, but I keep selling and I can't get back up to that 1,000 mark for some reason. Okay, so right now I have all of my listings currently at the suggested rate. Now I have
Okay.
fluctuated with lower numbers. I've fluctuated with as high as 10%, and it doesn't really seem to make too much of a difference between the suggested and I've done one. I
Going
haven't
any
done
higher.
1%. Yeah, I haven't. I
I
haven't done
did.
one.
It works.
I think I've tried 5 and then 7, and then I did whatever the suggested is, and then I went up to 10. But I look at it, it's advertising. So
Right.
if you're advertising that item and you can get it sold, eh, it
Right.
works. It seems to work for me. So
Well, and
I'm gonna keep doing
I always look and every single item in my store is promoted, but not every
it.
sale do I get is from a promoted, you know,
Right,
listing. So I
right,
do think that everybody a couple months ago when everyone freaked out and thought that we weren't going to get sales other than promoted
right.
sales with whatever the change was, it's not true. I do have more sales promoted than not promoted, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
everything. Not everything sells with the promoted fee attached to it. So I don't
Okay,
know. I
so
need to keep
here's
playing around
my
with it.
right. So my number I paid in ads is $214.83 in ads, but that has brought me $2,300 in sales
Wow.
just for promoted listings. So you got to look at it that way. Is it worth
Yeah.
paying the $200 for? Now I know it sucks. It's not how eBay used to be, but is it worth paying that 200 something dollars to get the $2,300 in sales?
Yeah.
Each person will have their own answer to that, but I find it to be worth it. So I keep doing
Well,
it.
and I agree with you. I think that that's definitely because I mean I want the sales, and I look at fees a little differently. I know sometimes it can get a little jumbled, where people get frustrated with the fees and like it's
Mm-hmm.
another bill, but really it's not. I always try to keep in mind that money, even though we get it and then have to pay it back, like that money was never really ours to have. I
Right.
do hope that when are you doing managed payments or do you have
I
the
am not
regular?
in it yet. I'm
Okay.
not in it yet.
I'm kind of hoping. Do you sell on Etsy at all?
No.
Okay. Well, with Etsy, I'm kind of hoping with managed payments, and maybe somebody watching this can tell us either now if they're watching or later. I'm hoping that with managed payments, it's going to work like Etsy, where they take that money immediately. Like the fee money is already gone.
That is
So
what I want so bad
because
because
that's why it feels like a bill, is because we get it and then we have to give it back. But really, it was never ours to begin with, you
right,
know. Um,
right.
so I'm hoping that it, and I don't know how managed payments works, but I am hoping it works like Etsy, because Etsy they take the money, and I don't know, maybe Poshmark does as well. I only sold one
They
thing on
do.
Poshmark.
They do. Yeah, I know about your experience with Poshmark. We won't talk about
No, we
that.
won't get into Poshmark, or I'm gonna have a conniption.
So they do. Poshmark does take their money beforehand, and I really, really hope that that's part of the new managed payments because every month around the 12th, about the 10th to the 12th, because mine comes out on the 15th. So about the 10th to the 12th, I'm like having a mini stroke going, oh my God, how
Yep,
am I going to come up with this money? And what if I
I
don't make the
know.
sales? It always seems to work out for the most part, but yeah.
Well, I was really good at first, my first few months,
Hmm.
probably almost the first year. I was really good about not using that money. I just
Hmm.
kept it, stayed in my PayPal account, and then when my bill came, it just was taken out.
Hmm.
But now, I've been doing this a longer now, so now we're getting more used to having this income, and I'm in the same boat. My bill comes out on the 15th every month, sometimes the 16th if I'm lucky. And I'm like, "Oh no, I don't have that money. What am I going to do?" And so it's on me. I mean, I should know better. I should not spend it, but I do, and I move it around for different things, and I
You
don't know.
things happen. Bills come up.
Yes.
Things need to be paid, and
You gotta use it.
yeah.
Like
So
this
I'm going to
month,
show
I'll be using my
you.
PayPal money. My son's turning 16 next week, so
Oh
that's going to be
yeah.
a big birthday present, I'm sure.
Uh
Like,
oh. Uh oh. So
no.
I'm going to show you my cheapest sale I think from this weekend, and I picked it
Okay.
up at a yard sale. It's a hat, it's a 511
Oh, let me make you
tactical
big.
hat.
I think.
Can you
Let me
see it
see. Can
okay?
I make you big? Oh, no, that's me.
You don't want
I
to
want
make
to.
me big. Just leave me little.
Okay.
Nobody needs to see that much of me, okay?
Okay.
There's the 511 tactical hat. I think I picked it up at a yard sale for a quarter. I love picking up hats. I pick them up at yard sales for next to nothing. Most of the time, people are giving them away, so I will take
Right.
them. This was $10. So
Cool.
yeah, it was
Great.
a
Now, is
really
that with shipping or buyer paid shipping?
that's free shipping. Basically, I'm just
Okay.
trying to move it and get it out of the store. So it's a
Okay.
511 tactical hat. Some of their clothing does okay too. I don't know if you ever see it in the thrift stores, but some of their
No, I'll have to
men's
keep my eye out.
clothing
Hmm.
does pretty well too. So that's something to think about.
Cool. Yeah, I like hats too. Plus, they're so easy to ship.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Yes.
Heather said that Posh has been slow, but it also has a lot more sellers now, and I think that seems true.
Yeah,
I
I have struggled. Yeah, I know you don't sell on Posh anymore
no,
from your bad experience, but I have
I
shared and shared and shared my closet, and I am just not getting any sales. I'll get maybe one a month.
yeah, yeah.
It's
I'm gonna
really
try
not.
Mercari, um, just because I see the amount of advertising that they're putting out.
Hmm.
Like they're advertising. They advertise during, I think, the Grammys or the Golden Globes, and
Hmm.
but I also think it's going to be the same thing. It's going to bring in more sellers. But I am going to try that out, but I don't know when. I'm in no rush. I like eBay, and I do have
Yeah,
stuff on Etsy, but I don't put
Poshmark
as
has
much
also
effort
been
into Etsy.
advertising a lot too, and I think that's part
Have
of the
they?
problem. There is that there's more sellers on there right now than there are buyers.
Yeah, and
They
I don't
have
have the
to.
time to do all the sharing. Now, I think if you can afford to pay somebody to do your sharing for you, then
Hmm.
maybe you do better. Like I watched Katie and Vicky live today, and Vicky was saying that she hired a virtual assistant to do all of her sharing
Hmm.
on Poshmark, but I don't have the money for that or the patience because I don't like Poshmark.
No, no. I'll share maybe once a day, and that's if I think about it. And that's probably why I'm not selling anything. So it's
Yeah.
not a priority for me. Now, if I
Right.
have a higher end item, I will cross post it. I'll make sure that it gets cross posted to there. But most of the time I forget about it and it'll sell on eBay, and then I have to go into Poshmark and take it down. So it's
Yeah.
it's it's a time suck.
Well, I never actually closed my Poshmark store. I got nervous to
Oh,
do
I
it.
thought you were so angry that one day. I thought you would just like
No, I
you're like,
left it up because
oh
then I got nervous about closing it. Like, what if I really, wanted to try it? So
no.
everything that I listed on Poshmark is still listed on Poshmark and it's sitting there. And I've yet to have gotten any. I mean, obviously, I'm not sharing, but I'm also not selling anything either. But it's still there. Oh, in fact, I should probably check
Boy.
it because I should probably check it because some of that stuff might have sold. So that's probably something I should do. I'll
I
show
mean,
one
I
of my
have like
sales.
80. I'm sorry, I have like
No, you're okay.
85,000 or 86,000 followers, and I still can't sell a darn thing on there. So frustrating.
I'm
Okay, go
telling
ahead.
you, it's definitely. No, I was just looking at this, and now that I'm looking, I see a little chip on this, but I think it'll be okay. This is a vintage glass ashtray. I'm trying to figure out where my camera is. Where is the camera? Okay, there it is. It's a vintage glass ashtray. It's a Safex. Safex? Yeah, Safex is who made the ashtray, and then it has a logo from a local company to my town that is no longer in business.
Okay.
Um, but it was like the main manufacturing plant here, and so there's a ton of people locally that worked there, had family work there. So when I listed this, I put this up with local pickup as an option,
Uh-huh.
and it sold this weekend. It sold for I don't remember. I think $10.
Is somebody
Um,
coming to get it?
no, it's it sold for $11.25 with $5.99 shipping.
Oh, wow.
And the buyer paid the shipping, and they live about 3 minutes from my house. So I don't know.
Excuse
I
me.
had
Yeah,
it
if they
set for
had the
local
option to come
pickup.
get
I'd be
it.
happy to meet them. So I don't know if either they didn't pay attention that they could have done a local pickup, or maybe they're disabled and they didn't, want
Yeah.
to. Because I'm not going to bring it to them. They're going to have to meet me somewhere. But my husband said maybe they just didn't pay attention. I was like,
Mm.
or they just don't care and they just want it sent to them. So yeah, so I'm paying. I don't know how much it'll actually cost to ship it, but they paid $6 to ship it, like 2 miles.
I'd
So
be almost tempted to just wrap it up and put it in a box and put it on their front door.
I actually thought about that. I was like, what do you think they notice if I printed the label and then just sat it on their porch? But I wouldn't do that. But it was
Save, I'd,
tempting.
I'd refund them the shipping and just drop it on their front door.
Yeah. Oh
Oh,
golly. But
goodness.
yeah, but no, I put it. I just noticed now, and I don't know if this happened in my storage box or not. But there's a little chip here at the edge of the cigarette rest. But I think it'll be okay. If they have a problem with it, they'll let me know. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I
And
might
see,
have
you
even
knew
noted that.
somebody else was going to buy it. That's what's funny is that you had already put in there for local pickup too. And
Yeah, I mean,
you're
I just
right.
know with how popular that plant is around here, even though it's been closed for years and years, there's so many
Mhm.
people that worked there, had family work there. I knew somebody local would probably buy it, and they did.
Nice.
All right, what's your next thing?
Okay, so my next thing is probably one of my favorite things to sell. Is cross stitch kits.
Yay. That's a
Little
pretty one too.
butterflies. Yep.
I like that.
I love cross stitch kits, especially holiday ones, all the Christmas
Hmm.
ones. Holy moly. I don't know if you've ever looked them up on eBay to see what some of the Christmas ones go for, but they can go for a couple $100s.
Yeah,
Uh,
I haven't been lucky enough to find one that goes that high, but I'm hoping someday.
just dig through the linens. That's kind of where I tend to find them, is where like your tablecloths and things like that are. They're
Hmm.
hidden under there, and I don't know if they do that on purpose, but you got to dig through and you can find them at my Goodwill anyway, is where they're hiding. But this was
Okay.
$18. It sold for
Wow, good.
$18, and that has free shipping. I mean, it's light as
Right.
air,
It's not going to
really
use as
light.
much.
But a few years ago, I found one in a Goodwill that was a tree skirt, a Christmas tree skirt for cross stitch. And I had no idea what they sold for, and I looked it up online after I had already purchased it because I was going to buy it anyway. I buy pretty much all of them that I find,
Mm-hmm.
and I fell out on the floor. It was like, holy cow! So it ended up selling for like $250, and somebody overseas in England after Christmas bought it.
Wow.
So
Wow. Getting ready for the next
even
year.
though, yeah, well, even though if you find something now that is Christmas, still list it because I am still selling stuff that's
Yep,
holiday
that's
related.
been my
So,
advice too. In fact, I said that a couple weeks ago. I'm still selling Christmas stuff. This weekend I don't have anything, but I think my last two shows, I think I had something Christmas both weeks because people buy
mm-hmm.
Christmas year round. I always list my
Yeah.
Christmas stuff. I never hang on to it. I hear a lot of sellers that hang on to it. And I don't. I get it up there because people are always buying the Christmas stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My
Yep.
first, not this December, but the one before would have been my first December selling, my first Christmas selling. And
Mm-hmm.
on Christmas Day, we were sitting there opening presents at my mom's house, and my phone went off, and somebody bought a stocking on Christmas Day. I'm like, well, it's a little late. They're not, Santa's not going to come tonight, or next week when they get it. But yeah, it sells all the time. I just thought that was funny to sell a stocking on Christmas Day. That was humorous to me.
Well, in different family situations, people might celebrate Christmas on New Year's or at a different
Yep, that's
time or
exactly what I
whatever.
thought
So,
too.
or
You
they're
never know.
replacing, or they're
Yep.
replacing it because the cat got a hold of it or something.
Yep, and I always think too, sometimes, people go like maybe you went to somebody's house and they're like, "Oh, I love your Christmas stockings. I wonder if I can find some myself." You don't ever know.
Right.
Um okay. I sold my next item. I'm not going to pull it out of the okay. I guess I could pull it out. You can't really see it. It's a tapestry vest.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's very like 1990s school teacher. Just a
Isn't that
tapestry
swanky?
vest. Yeah, I'm not cute. This is funny. This was my aunt's, which is so not her style. I don't know where in the world she ever wore this. Um, but my aunt sends me a lot of her old clothes every time she cleans out her closet. So it's free. I didn't buy this. Like I wouldn't have picked that up. Although maybe I should because she had two in the box that she sent me and they both sold. And that sold for $10.79 plus $4.99 shipping. And this
Wow.
sold today, and I had
What's on it? Like
actually
flowers? Is it
flowers, yeah. And it's like brown, and I know my camera's not real great on this, but
Oh, isn't that
yeah.
precious?
Oh, there you go. You can kind of see it better in the light.
There
But
you
yeah,
go.
it's cute. But it sold for almost $11 plus $5 shipping, and I had actually sent offers to watchers on it earlier today for
Really.
$8, and then somebody came and paid the full sale price. So
Don't you love that?
I know. I love it when that happens. So
It
yeah,
kind of
so that's
reminds
gonna.
that vest kind of reminds me of grandma's couch.
It does. It's exactly. It is very, very grandmother-ish. But yeah, I've sold. Well, like I say, she had sent me in that box. There were two vests like that.
Uh-huh.
The first one that sold, the buyer, they had left feedback, positive feedback, but it said, vest is a little large, but that's my fault. I didn't look at the measurements. So I sent the buyer a message and I was like, hey, we have
Oh,
free
okay.
returns. Like, do you want to send it back? Like, why keep something that doesn't fit when there's free returns? So then she opened a return
Right.
and then she didn't send
Right.
it back. And then after the return closed, it ended up showing up at my house. So I called eBay and I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And they're like, nothing. They're like, you don't do anything. Like, it's yours now. So I put it back up for sale and I sold it again. So that vest sold twice. So maybe I should be picking up tapestry vests because if you can get them cheap enough, because that one I sold for $12 plus shipping also twice. So I don't
I
know.
think I've only sold one of those tapestry vests, and my husband found it when we were in a thrift store. and it had cats all over it, and it was the
Oh.
most god awful thing. And he insisted on wearing the darn thing all over the thrift store. I'm like, I don't know him. I don't know him.
Oh my golly.
Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to show you is Crown and Ivy. Not a high-end brand, but it does have a following. It has little
Oh,
elephants. It's
that's
a little
pretty.
shirt. Got some bell sleeves on there.
Ooh, I like that.
It's very pretty. They do have a
I,
following. It's not. It doesn't sell for a ton of money. It's cute.
but there's
Very cute.
buyers.
This one sold for. Oh yeah, yeah. This is sold for $15, and it sold like 24 hours after I listed it. So there
Wow.
is definitely
I'm gonna
a
write that
following.
down because I haven't heard of that brand.
Crown and
My
Ivy.
handprint.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here. Let me show you
I'm
the
writing it
label.
down.
You can get a visual. I'm a label person, so when I see stuff,
Yeah,
look. Can you see? There we
I
go.
see
Ooh,
it.
ooh, there
Yeah,
we go.
thank you.
It's
Yeah, because
not.
I mean, especially if you can find it cheap enough, like a yard sale
Yes,
for $1 or something.
yes, or a dollar day, or I don't know what you have at your Goodwills. Ours, they don't do anything. They do a military appreciation on Thursday and
Mm.
senior day on Tuesdays, and then we have like the half off color of the week. We don't have any 99-cent sales. I see a lot of people that talk about having
We
99
used to
cent
have
sales.
that and they took it away from us. So we used to have two colors. We had the 50% off color, and then there was
Mm-hmm,
another color that anything that color was 99 cents. But they
mm-hmm,
took away the 99-cent color. So now we still get the 50% off color. And then they
mm-hmm.
have senior day on Wednesdays, which I was so excited. Wednesday was always my mom's day off, but I felt
Wow.
bad asking her to come to the Goodwill on her only day off of the week to give me a discount. But when she retired, I was like, great, I won't feel guilty. Like
Mm-hmm.
she can, even if she didn't have to shop with me, but if she could like come meet me at the Goodwill and so I could get that discount. But now she babysits my niece on Wednesday, so I still can't get that senior discount that I want.
Well, maybe when the niece is a little bit
I
older
know.
and
Once we
she
can
can
start lugging
take them
her
out.
around, because my
There
mom
you
doesn't
go.
take her anywhere yet. But when she's a little bit bigger, like come spring, we'll be able to drag her out, and then she's gonna have to come to the Goodwill with me because I've got to get that discount.
You can teach her early. Teach her soon, teach them often.
I know. Okay, my next item. I've got two things left. I kept hoping something would sell while we were on here, but no. So this, it's melamine. It's just a
Oh,
big
nice.
platter.
Uh-huh.
And it's new. It has the sticker on the back, but like it's partially peeled off. But it's 16 inches and it's big. I sold this for 10 plus shipping. So
Okay.
I think it has, let me look and see. I took an offer on it. Yeah, it sold for $10 plus $9.99 shipping. So not
Okay.
not cheap. But what's funny about this is that the sticker that's partially peeled off. I have three of
Mm-hmm.
these, not the same, like three coordinating ones. Why does this seem?
Okay.
There we go. So like one of them's a chip and dip tray, and the other one is like a square platter, but they're all the same design. One
Oh,
of them
okay.
had the sticker intact, and this is a $5 item from Big Lots.
Oh,
And I sold it for 10 plus 10 shipping. So I was happy with that. I got it for free from an auction that we went to, like an estate auction. I had
nice.
bought a bunch of Christmas houses off of this lady and well, through the auction company, I bought some Christmas houses. And then when we went to
Mm-hmm.
go pick them up, the one that I didn't bid on was there. And I was like, oh, now I wish I would have gotten it. And the lady that owned the house was there and she heard me talking about it and she said, well, let me take your number down. Actually, I think my husband asked and said, like, if we leave you our number, if the person who bought this house doesn't show up, will you call us?
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back and we'll buy it. So like 2 hours later, she called me and she's like, they didn't show up for that house that you wanted. Like, why don't you come get it? So I woke the Christmas house up, and she just started giving me all this other stuff. She's like, "Here, I don't need this. Here, I don't need that," because she was in the process of packing. And so, like, I got a bunch of these, melamine platters. She gave me some of those
Nice.
wicker, like, paper plate holders. So she gave me a bunch of stuff for free. So yeah, so this was free for me, and sold it for $10. that's not
Free
bad.
is great. Free, nothing
Yeah.
wrong. Free.
Yeah, in fact, actually, no, the ashtray I actually got at her auction too. It was in a box of stuff that we purchased. So
Do they still have the auction house in Fredericktown? Do you
I
know which
think
one I'm
so.
talking
Yeah,
about?
I
The
know
one that's
exactly
where
which one you're
they're,
talking about. Like around the curve.
yeah, do they still have the grocery store there too? I can't remember. I haven't been there
Um,
in so long.
I think it closed. Like it was closed for a
Okay.
while. Currently, it's closed. But don't take my word for it. I'm
Okay.
so rarely in Fredericktown.
I know
And
they.
the
I,
are you there?
yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
You know,
I thought it
I'm
froze,
here. I was
but I
trying
think you
not to
just weren't
interrupt
talking.
you.
No, I was just gonna say I rarely ever go to Fredericktown except for this one. For those of you watching, I live nearby to Rachel's mother, so that's why she knows my area. Right? That's right. Your
Yes,
mom.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the little thrift store that I like in Fredericktown is closed for the time being because they're tearing down the building that it's in and rebuilding it. So it's going to be closed for a while.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I think they did. Didn't they do auctions there weekly or monthly or something like
I
that?
think so. I think
I've
it used
been
to be
there
on
a couple of times.
Saturdays,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I
And they'd
haven't
have a big
gone.
New Year's Day auction that they used to do. And
Oh, I need to
so,
look into all that. I'm out of the loop. I knew in the
yeah. Well,
summertime on Saturdays, but
my mom would take stuff over there, either she's either buying or selling something. So,
must run in the
okay.
family.
Oh, it goes back a long way. So, okay. So my next item is another hat. It's a Cub
Okay.
hat, and it's a airplane. It's a type of airplane. It's a vintage mesh back trucker snapback hat. Had this for a while. I was happy to let it go. It sold for $22.
Oh, wow.
There, yeah, people like their hats, especially vintage. It has an older. Does it say made in the USA? I'm not sure it does. No, but you can tell by the tag. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I really got to get used to this camera thing here.
I know.
There you go. And it's a trucker hat snapback sold for $22 free shipping. I was happy
Cool.
to let that go. I have quite a few hats in my store and they do pretty well. I mean, they're steady. They're one of those things I know it eventually will sell. It
Mm-hmm.
might take a while. Like that one I think has been listed on and off for about a year. So I've been
Well,
trying to
you
get
got your
better about
money.
taking down my old listings and relisting doing the sell similar because that has really made a difference.
I think it's helping.
Really.
I've noticed it, so we'll see. Because
Yeah.
I don't think
Definitely.
anything that vest had been listed for a while, and I think earlier, probably mid January, I had taken that down and did sell similar on that. So I don't know. It seems to keep the listings fresh. I don't think we should have to do that. I mean, that's another thing, like with eBay, like. Why are we having to do this? It automatically renews. That should be refreshing enough, but it doesn't. So,
Well, I already know that I have to go through some of the older stuff because somehow stuff just disappears. It'll fall off at eBay, and I know if I don't get in there and look to see what's in that tub of clothing or whatever it is, that I just know something has fallen off. So it's
I found something the other day that I didn't even remember that I had, and then it was like I was looking for something else that had sold, and I came
mhm.
across this jacket, and I was like, oh, I don't think that's listed anymore, and it's not. So I've got them, and of course I don't have the pictures for it anymore. I don't even know where the pictures went, so I've got to redo the pictures. I was just like, ugh, such a pain in the
Yeah,
butt.
I
I
don't
might
know
just
what
take it to Goodwill.
happens. I don't know what happens.
It's a
It just
mystery.
falls off. So
Yeah, just a mystery. Well, I've got one item left. Do you have a couple things? Do you want to show another one?
Yeah, I'll show you this one. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but it is a leather and fur jacket.
Ooh,
It's got the
that's
leather
pretty.
leather sleeves on here.
Wow.
It's definitely vintage,
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely fur. and it's got a belt. It's really nice. It's got a belt to it. It's
Oh.
kind of like a it falls lower than your hip, I guess you would call it down there.
Hmm.
So there you go. That one sold for $110.
Wow,
So
that's
people are still
exciting.
buying fur.
Where's it going to? Do you remember?
Oh, I will check for you right now.
Oh no, I
Since I
can't
have
even remember now who it was, but I saw someone the other day say they sold a fur coat to Arizona. But I guess there are parts of Arizona that does have winter. You know, like Flagstaff gets cold and
Yes.
snow, so it's not.
Yeah.
They didn't say Phoenix; they just said Arizona. But it does make you wonder, like, did it go to the warmer area or the cold area? It's
This
not.
one's going to Brooklyn. It's going to Brooklyn,
Okay,
New York. So
that's
I'd
definitely
imagine
cold.
they have a good reason for it.
Yeah, probably. I'll tell you what, we've been pretty mild here in Ohio this year, but the last week was cold. I could have used a coat like that.
Yeah.
It was so cold
Um,
this past week.
I have one more thing that I was going to show. Well, actually, I have two more things. So I'll go ahead and show you this next one. This
Yeah, show me
is
yours.
a bright orange. I know you probably can't see it. Man, my lighting in here is terrible.
I was gonna say, yeah, mine's not that great either,
It's
but yeah, we're working.
Patagonia.
Ooh,
Patagonia. It is an
recognize that
extra
label.
small, and this one took a while to sell, probably about 6 to 8 months. I think I got it at the beginning of springtime last
Okay,
year. So
it's
the
probably the
smaller,
size.
yeah, it's the size. It's the size. It took it a while to sell, but it's the nano puff jacket. It's got the little zippy thingy there. Really nice. And that sold for $70.
Wow, that's so
Free
awesome.
shipping. Free
That's just
shipping.
awesome.
That one I did not get in a thrift store. I like to buy from other sellers and
Hmm.
resell it. So I might go on one of the apps, maybe Poshmark or Mercari or something like that, and I'll pick it up because a lot of people may not know what they have. And so what I
Yeah.
do is I snag it real cheap and then I turn around and flip it. So
Yeah,
that
or
that
you
works
get
for me.
impatient. A lot of times people will get impatient because with that size, it's gonna take longer to sell an extra small than it is gonna be to sell an extra large. So
Yeah,
maybe they get impatient and they drop their price, and then look at you swooping in, and then you can be patient and make your money.
that's
That's a
right.
good
That's
idea.
right.
That's a good idea.
And
Well, I'll show you my
another
last.
thing,
Oh, go
one
ahead.
more thing I'd like to mention on that jacket is I purchased it during the dead of summer. Somebody had listed it during the
Wow.
summertime, and that's the last thing you're thinking of right there is
Hmm.
jackets. And so they listed it. It was really cheap. I could look it up and tell you, but it was probably $20-$30 for that jacket. So
Wow.
I came in and
So you
this
over doubled
particular
your money.
this 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 particular jacket, the Nano Puff, is highly desirable, highly sought after. The only thing I wasn't sure of was the size, and I was fine with sitting on it for a
Hmm.
while. So
Well, that's good to know. Yeah, I'm really hoping I can never find these good brands, but I don't very rare like I haven't very often ventured out of my little town. And you know what it's like here. Like it's very small town and I need to get out. I need to get out of my comfort zone and like take day trips and go down to Columbus or even my
hmm
dad lives up by Cleveland, go up that way.
hmm
I think I would probably do better to go give the bigger areas a try because I don't seem to find the good brands here very often.
I
And
would
I
think
really
that
want to
you
go to a
would too.
Ben's.
Yeah, I would think that you would too because my mom was visiting here in May or June, something like that, and I took her around to the thrift stores that we have here, and she was just amazed by
Yeah.
the stuff that they had there. She's like, I'd never see this in my thrift store. They only have crap there.
Yeah. See, I think that that's the problem. I've got to get at, and which is why I stick to my hard goods and I stick to my vintage because that's in
Mm-hmm.
abundance. You know, there's so many estates and everything around here and a lot of older people. So that's easy to find. But as far as like contemporary good clothing or even good vintage clothing, like I find
Mm-hmm.
nothing. The clothing here is crap. So I need to get out of my comfort zone and go to Columbus or go to Cleveland and try to do
Take
better. I
a
want
day.
to go to the bins. I know. That's what we have to do. I got to make myself do it. I'm such a homebody.
Well, you're only what, about an hour, a little over an hour from Columbus or so?
Yeah. Oh, it's not even. Not. I mean, like I could. There's a bins. There's a couple different bins that are like 50 minutes from here. It's
Wow.
not 50, not 15, but 550.
Yeah.
That's not that far. Like I don't know why I just don't go give it a try. And then New Albany, which is only like 35, 40 minutes from here. That's a very high end, lots of money there. I guess
Hmm.
there's a great thrift store, a few great thrift stores there. I need to just
Hmm.
go suck it up and go and check it out. But all
What
right, I'll show
about
you my
the
last item.
Polaris
Oh,
area? Do they have thrift stores over there?
well, that I'm sure. I'm sure they probably do. I
Well,
haven't.
I know they have
I just,
the big old fancy mall
yeah.
there. I thought it would be a better
I
area to
know
find.
that Westerville, which is like right around that area of Polaris, I've heard there is. My mom was telling me about a thrift store she heard about down in the Westerville area. So,
Okay.
you know, I don't know. I just got to make myself do it. I have to just, I don't know. It's too
You
easy to
need
stay
somebody
home, and
to
I've
go
got to
with
stop
you
it.
is what you
I
need. So you're
know.
not
That's
going
the
by
thing.
yourself.
And Will and I were doing, I loved going thrifting with my husband, but now that he's working third shift, we don't have as much time because, he's tired. We need to just suck it up and go do it. And my mom likes to go, but she's not interested in selling. So
Okay.
I feel kind of bad. Like it's okay for her to come and join me for a little while, but I'd feel bad dragging her all day and making her dig through stuff that she doesn't even know what she's looking at. So I keep trying to convince her to sell because I could see her being the next Lavender Clothesline.
Yeah.
Karen. I could
Yeah.
see her
Yeah.
doing that. She's got the great face and she does have a good eye, but she doesn't want to, so I'm not gonna force her. But I'm gonna make her work for me.
There you
Put her to
go.
work.
Put her to work.
I know. But
Cheap
okay, my
labor.
last item. This is my best sale of the week. Um, so for like a little bit of a background, my mom's neighbor tends to give her things that she doesn't want. And it
Hmm.
used to really frustrate my mom and like, kind of be like, okay, I don't need anything. But now I'm like, just take it and give it to me. And what I can't sell, I'll donate.
Hmm. Right.
So we were there last Wednesday because we go to my mom's every Wednesday to go see my niece. We were there last Wednesday and my mom said, hey, does Will want this cologne? Brenda gave it to me, and it was it's Bath and Body Works, Twilight
Okay.
Woods for men,
Okay.
Bath and Body Works, and I didn't think anything of it. I smelled it and it stunk, and I was like, like it's real musky, woodsy. It's not
Mhm.
really our thing. And I didn't think my husband would care for it, but I was just like, okay, I don't know, I'll let him smell it. Wasn't even thinking about selling it. I don't know why my brain didn't go there, but I took it home and it sat on my desk for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I should look that up, and I
Uh-huh.
looked it up. And the darn thing is rare, like it's discontinued, and it's one of the scents that people want. It's a
Ah,
desirable scent.
nice.
So this is I mean, I listed it as like new without a box because I don't even think there's been a spray out of it. It's so full. So I
Uh-huh.
sold it for $70 with free shipping.
That's
And
awesome.
I had it listed for like 110 or like
Hmm.
100. I think it was on sale. I think I had it listed for like 99.
Hmm.
Um, or it was on sale for that. And somebody sent me an offer for 70. And I could have
Hmm.
held out or countered, but I can't imagine, like, even though it seems like it does sell, there's not a ton listed, there's not a ton sold. So you kind of have to wait for that person that wants to spend that much on a bottle of cologne,
Yeah.
old cologne at that, because it's
Yeah.
discontinued. So I told my husband, I was like, I could finagle back and forth with this guy to try to get 80 or $90, but
Hmm.
I might as well just take the 70 and run. I was happy with it. It was free. I have
Yeah.
literally no money into it. So I sold that. Like it sold within just a couple of days, and I was happy.
I love discontinued products, discontinued perfume, discontinued any beauty products, anything that
Hmm.
hasn't been used. Holy moly, that stuff can go for a lot of money. A lot of
That's what I'm
money.
always looking, and that was which is why I think it's funny. I didn't think about it as soon as my mom handed it to me. I don't know why I didn't instantly look it up, but because I'm always looking up that stuff in the thrift stores. Like I'll find half a bottle of perfume or something. And I'm like, is this, a desirable one? And it never
Mm-hmm.
is. So I was excited. But yeah, Twilight Woods by Bath and Body Works. Like there were like half bottles selling for $20 or $25.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine liking a smell that much that I'd be willing to pay for a
You
half a
get into
bottle of perfume. But
some of the Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret stuff,
mhm.
the scents that have been discontinued, they can go up into a couple $100. People will pay
See, that's exciting.
even for like, just this much, not even a quarter of a bottle. They're willing to pay good money for on some scents. So it's always worth looking up.
Yeah,
Always.
and that's what I do. So this was a good one. Like I say, it was a surprise sale for me because I wasn't wasn't even think I was apparently not exactly with it because
I know
normally
it's
I'm looking up
free.
everything.
It's free.
Oh,
Nothing
I
better than
know.
free.
I was gonna
Okay.
say, so I only had the 4 sales this weekend, but it was worth it. That $70 cologne that made me happy.
Okay, so this is the last thing I'm going to show. This is the best sale that I had this weekend. It is this. Can you see
Okay,
it?
I can see
It's
it, but I have no idea what it is.
VP tuning. Okay, and it came with this cable here. It
Okay.
is a tuner. It tunes your vehicle. So, like your engine, your motor, it can tune your vehicle. And this came out of a storage unit that I had won back in October. And this sold for
Okay.
$150.
Oh, great.
Right here. So basically, you just take this cord and you hook it up to your vehicle. It has to be a certain vehicle, and I provided that
Okay.
information in the listing so they know what they're getting. And basically, it programs your motor for certain settings of tuning. So there you go.
Okay.
And it came out of a storage unit that I purchased. This
Now, did you
pretty much
know when you saw it? Did you know what it was, or did you look it up, or did your
Yeah,
husband know, or?
I knew what this was because I've had one of these before for my Mustang.
Okay.
So I've had one of these before, and I kind of knew what it was, and I just looked it up. New, like brand spanking new. See, this is used, but
Mhm.
brand spanking new. These go for like 900 or $1,000. So
Oh my. So yeah, 150 for a used one's a deal.
yeah, it's a smoking deal because what they'll have to
Wow.
do is they'll have to call in and get it programmed because once you plug it into a vehicle, it's set for that vehicle. So I did contact the
Okay.
manufacturer and they're going to have to call in and get a new license for it. So I wanted it
Wow.
priced to move and it sold. So there
That's
you go.
exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Yeah, I don't know any of that kind of stuff. Like the tools, that is definitely something when Will can come along with me to yard sales, he can
Mm-hmm.
find all of that. Like that would have been something he would have found, or if we had a storage unit, he would have been able to like grab it and know it was something. I look
Mm-hmm.
at that stuff and I just like do and go about my way because I have no knowledge, and that's usually the stuff that's worth a lot of money. Like I've got
Mm-hmm.
quite a few things in my basement that Will picked this past summer at yard sales that
Mm-hmm.
I've got to bring up and have him look at it and tell me exactly what it is because I know I have a basement on all that kind of
Mm-hmm.
mechanical tools and car stuff that I have no. If it's a pretty
And
vase,
some
I
of
can be
that
like,
stuff
ooh,
can go for good money. Like I
yeah.
bought a couple weeks ago a stock radio for a Volkswagen. Now, Volkswagen, it's something when I see it says Volkswagen, I'm automatically looking it up because that stuff is expensive to begin
Okay.
with. And I looked it up and they were selling for like $90 and I got it for $2.
Wow.
Good deal. So I ended up selling it for, I think I took an offer of $70 on it. So and I sold it. But anything Volkswagen is another thing. If you see anything Volkswagen, you
I just
definitely
write
want to
that
look it
down
up.
on my paper too. I'm
Yeah,
like, ooh. And then I'll bring it home
but
and be like, Will, what does this do? Yeah. This is exciting. I'm I wish I would have had a better weekend in sales. Like I said, I was pretty disappointed with my weekend, but I'm glad you had some
mhm,
good stuff. I was because that's why I thought earlier today I was like, well, if I have to go on by myself, at least I have one good sale. It wasn't just like $10 here, $10 there, but I mean, I'm still proud of the sales that I get. I'm always
oh,
proud no matter
definitely,
what I sell, but it was
definitely.
frustrating and it's the worst. I was looking at yeah, it's the worst weekend I've had in probably 3 months. My numbers are
Okay.
down so far, like so low, even compared to this time last year or whatever it
Mhm.
shows. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I just keep plugging along.
Let
because
me
I
see
love
what
eBay.
mine says. I think I might be still down. I don't know. It's been fluctuating. Like, I don't know what was going on the other day. I had one sale the whole day, and then the
Wow.
next day it was like it's like somebody had flipped a switch. I know people joke about them flipping the switches there, but it's like somebody flipped a switch, and then all of a sudden I had like 4 or 5 sales within a very short period of time. It's like it
Wow.
doesn't make any sense. So I am up 2.2% from last month and down 10% from last year. So it's all over the
Yeah,
place.
that's what
It
mine
doesn't make any
says.
sense.
Mine says I'm down 22% from last month and 42% from last year. And last
Wow.
year I was a really new store. I'm like, why is this happening? But
I don't think there's any
I don't
method to
know.
madness.
I don't think there is either. I'm like, I'm listing more than I was last year. I'm more consistent. I think it's just a matter. And also, I don't really know exactly like what's going on with eBay, within eBay. So I'm just like, I'm just going to keep doing my part. And I think eventually it'll all even. Plus, it tends to even out. You know, like I'll have a really,
Yeah.
really huge day and then or a really great
Hmm.
week. Like last week was fairly decent for me overall, and last weekend was a good weekend for me, so I guess I was due to have a bad couple of days because I didn't sell anything at all yesterday, and then
Okay.
all I sold today was this vest. That's all that sold yesterday. The tray and the cologne sold on Friday, and technically the cologne sold on Wednesday or Thursday, but they didn't pay until Friday.
Well, you need to hit up your mom's neighbor or your
I
aunt's
know.
neighbor, whoever it is.
I've got both. My aunt mails me the stuff out of her closet. My mom's neighbor gives her hand-me-downs. I want to put it on my Facebook like before you go to Goodwill, call me. If you're going to give it away anyway, I'll take it. And then what I can't use.
That's hilarious.
Well,
Yeah,
sometimes I do
I
think
saw
that's interesting.
I sold a bunch of clothes this weekend, just stuff that I didn't feel like it
Yeah.
was good to show, but and I'm happy about that because I am trying to pare down some of the clothing. I have a lot, probably 600 or 700 pieces of clothing that need to be pared
Wow.
down, and I'm just trying to, after the whole fiasco with the sizing information and everything disappearing
Ugh.
this past summer, I was just like, oh, I really cut down on the clothing. So I'm hoping to kind of weed through that because I do want to do more storage unit auctions because I really like that. It's fun. It's a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of work, but it is fun to do. So
Yeah, that's something Will and I both want to do so badly. So, but we want to be able to do it. You know, we want to build up the business a little bit more, so then that way, like our profits from eBay can pay for that. So we'll get there, but eventually, that's something that we want to do is storage auctions and
mhm.
like the storage things. And there's something else that because Will's really interested. He really wants to do Amazon. And see, that doesn't interest me very much because I like the treasure hunt. Like, I
Yeah,
really don't have any desire to go buy discounted dish soap and then sell it. You know, like, I don't really care, but he's more interested in that. So I think on a better shift at work, I think that he'll be wanting to put more effort into that. And I think it would be cool to have both of those. We'd have both of those revenues where that would be his thing, and then I would have the eBay and the Etsy. I do all the shipping for the most part, but I guess if we're doing Amazon, he could do FBA, but that's his thing. I really don't have any interest in Amazon, but
that's
he
what I was going
does.
to ask you. Would you be doing merchant fulfilled or FBA?
We've sold a few things on Amazon
Hmm.
that we've done merchant fulfilled, and I just take care of the shipping. He
Hmm.
shipped a couple things, but I love shipping. I'm like, that's my favorite part of selling. It's so ridiculous. Besides the shopping, like everybody loves the
Oh,
sourcing,
sure.
but outside of that, I love shipping. That's my favorite thing in the world is to do shipping. But Amazon shipping's boring because you just put it in a box and put the label on it. With eBay and Etsy, I like to make my stuff all silly and pretty, and I know I
It's
don't
too
have
bad
to,
you
but
don't
it's
live closer. I'd give you all my stuff to ship.
I'd do it too. I'd be like, just bring it over to my house. I'll do it.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I love shipping, but I hate taking pictures. That's my least favorite. I need
Yeah, I
to
used to
I
be
teach
so
my girls how to do it.
particular. Yeah, there you go. That's good free labor there.
Yep,
Well, it's
exactly.
not really free, but you know what I mean. They
It'd
put
be
them to
free
work.
for
But
me.
I used to be so particular about photos. Like I used to only take, I mean, if you go through my store, you can see where some of them were taken outside, and that was how I did my pictures. So if it was a cloudy day, I was out of luck.
Oh
I
wow.
wanted to, I would take, one of the mannequins back here outside, out to the deck, and take all the pictures of all the clothing. And it got to be so cumbersome, because if it was a cloudy day, if it was just even a little bit overcast, you couldn't get decent pictures. So I just said, you know what? It is what it is.
Yep.
If it's a decent picture, if it looks good, I'm going to bring it up here and I'm going to put it up against this wall and just do it that way. And that's what I've started doing, because I'd have piles and piles and piles of clothes that never got photographed because it wasn't a good time to. So yeah,
Yeah.
it
And
is what
see,
it
and
is.
that's my want, not that I want to. I really don't particularly care for selling clothes, but I want to have I want to get a few more clothes going because I feel like that might help kickstart some things, at least get some more views. I don't know. My brain's always doing something. But I don't really have a good spot to photograph it at. I have a nice
Yeah.
big blank wall in my living room, but to be able to use that, I'd have to move my couch. So it's like I
Oh,
don't know, because back here, this is where I take all my pictures, because we have this nice big
okay.
white drop down, and there's a table right there. And so I can set
Mhm.
everything up, and my pictures are taken just fine. But it works okay for shirts because I have a little, like, the mannequin like you have, I take it
Yeah.
off of its little stand, and it can just sit
Yeah.
there. And then I have like a hanging bust also that can hang, or I can just hang her back there. I could just hang the shirt there. But it gets hard when it's like a dress or anything longer than the length of a skirt. It's hard for me, or a
Yeah.
shirt. It's hard for me to take pictures of, and so I
What
think
about at your
that's what
mom's house? You
holds me
could like
back.
take over her house.
I'm honestly thinking about it because she's
Put her
got
to work.
3 bedrooms she doesn't use. Oh, good golly. My mom doesn't even have a. That's the other thing. Like, I think she would be. I really want her to start an eBay business, but she doesn't even have a smartphone. Like, she still uses the kind of the flip phone that you have to like push the button 3 times to get the letter that you want. So I don't know why I think she can jump on and become a reseller, but she she'd be calling me every day asking me 10 million questions. But she's funny when I try to like show her pictures on my phone. I'll be like, "Oh, look at this or that," and she's always pushing the wrong button. I could just see her trying to take pictures for
Okay,
me.
never mind. Never
She'd
mind.
be having them
Okay, I
on
just
film.
believe
I'd
it.
have to scan them. But no, I need to find a good. That's what's holding me back. I think a lot from doing clothes is that I just don't have a decent setup for clothing. Like this is great
Mhm.
back here for hard goods. It works
Mhm.
fantastic,
Mhm.
but I just haven't found like this summer. I was taking pictures out on our back, like against our back fence, and that
Mhm.
was working really well. But, it's winter. I'm not going to stand out in the snow hanging clothes
Yeah,
against a fence. That's just not going to
exactly.
happen.
Yep.
So I got to figure that out. But until then, I'll just stick with my pretty vintage stuff. And
Do we have anybody watching us?
there's 4 people. Nobody's
Oh,
saying
hi, poor people.
hello. But we do have some views. I know we should probably
Yay.
start wrapping it up because we've been on
Yes.
for over an hour. But I'm so
Yes.
glad you joined me.
Yay.
You're welcome to come any week that you want to.
Yes, I had a return that I was going to talk about, but maybe we'll talk
Oh,
about that when I get it back.
also say you can give us a little preview. What
Okay,
happened?
so a little preview is I sold a high-end faucet to a customer. Retails for about 400, almost $400 retail, brand new. Sold it for 175 plus shipping. She gets the faucet, opens it up. Now, higher end faucets, they don't come with the valves. You need to already either have that in the sink or you have it installed. So they don't come with the valve.
Okay.
She messages me and she's like, "It doesn't come with the valve. I want to return it." So she opens up the return request, and it's the return request says item missing pieces or parts. So
Oh
now
my
I'm
gosh.
So now I have not accepted the return. I have called and talked to eBay about it. And they basically said just wait until the 5th because the 5th is the day that I can call in and see if I can get the shipping taken care of, because she wanted to fight me on it, saying that it was supposed to be in there and it's not supposed to. It's something that doesn't even come in the package. So
Right.
trying to explain it to eBay that it wasn't supposed to be in the package to begin with is, yeah, I went round and round with them. And they basically told me wait until the 5th. So we'll
Okay.
see what happens
Yeah,
with
so you'll have
that.
to update us then next week or the whatever week you join us
Yeah, I mean,
back.
the
Hopefully you'll come
valves
back
aren't
next
really
week.
that. If you're spending, $200 on a tub faucet, go and buy the valve
Yeah.
for it. And I told the lady, I said, I'm not paying the return shipping to get it back.
Hmm.
I'm just not going to. It's not going to happen, because it was probably $20 or something to ship it to her, because it's a heavy. It's like for your
Right.
tub faucet. So, and trying to explain that to somebody on eBay that it wasn't even in the package, and it's just a nightmare.
Yeah,
So
and
I'm
they
gonna
and a
wait
lot of
until the
times they
5th.
don't even care. They're like, "Oh, well, just take it back and blah blah blah." And,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I'll
Well,
tell you
yeah. That's
this.
what they want me to do.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
of
they want me
course.
to do. But
And then they're going to tell you that they'll get it taken care of once you have it, but then you're probably going to be out of
mhm.
luck. That's such a bummer. That's such a bummer.
Mhm. And
Um,
she's had it for a week, and I'm like, well, did she try to install it? Is it going to come
yeah.
back in the brand new condition that I sent it to her? I don't know. We'll find out. Stay tuned.
Yes. Stay tuned. You're going to have to update us. And this reminds me, this was something I wanted to tell this week. A lot of times I will see people with returns, like they'll get a low dollar return, like let's say a plate users with $3 shipping or something. And the buyer will send a message and say,
Mhm.
it arrived broken. And a lot of times you'll see people say, like, oh, just refund and move on. Like, it's not worth your time. It's a low
Mhm.
dollar item. Refund the money, move on with your life. No big deal. No reason to argue and fight about it. But I always, with my returns, because I offer free returns, so I'm just wide open for people to send me returns. But I always ask for a picture. I'm like, I need you to send me the picture
Mhm.
of the item and the box,
Right.
even if it's not something that's so priority mail. So like if it's first class, you can't open up a insurance claim, so it doesn't, I don't really need those pictures, but I always
Right.
100% ask for the picture. And this week proved why it is a good thing for me to do that, because I sold this little dish. It was only like $8. I sold this little like vintage carnival glass dish for
Mhm.
$8 plus like $5.99 shipping. I get a message, it arrived in pieces. And I'm like, there is no way in this world that dish arrived in pieces, because it was a small dish. It went in a bigger box and there was so much bubble wrap around it. I mean, I probably could have taken the box and slammed it against the wall and bounced it back and it would have been fine. So in my mind, the only way it could have broken is if someone like took their boot to it and stomped on it.
Mhm.
So I'm like, okay, I'm really sorry to hear that. Can you send me a picture of the item in the box? And then I was going to go ahead and approve the return, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
Well, I get the picture. First thing I noticed when I opened up the message, it's orange bubble wrap. I don't have orange bubble wrap. And so
Mm.
I look through the pictures, and the box is a bigger box, and the dish inside broken looks like my dish, but it's not. So I zoom into the label, and it had a different. I mean, obviously I knew it wasn't my box, but I zoomed in, and so I sent her a message back, and I was like, this isn't my dish. And if you look at the return label, the first name is not my name.
Mhm.
Did you happen to buy multiple dishes of the same style? And
Mhm.
she messaged me back and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I ordered a large one and a small one. This is the large one. So she closed the return and then went and opened
Oh,
up that
nice.
return. So see, like, I just wanted to remind people, like, even if it's just a little thing, like, don't just automatically refund and move on with your life, because I would have just refunded her the $9 plus $6 shipping and lost out when it wasn't
Mhm.
even my item. And then guess what probably would have happened? Then she'd have realized it was the wrong one and then opened up another return. Then she'd have been making money. So it doesn't ever hurt to ask for that picture, just a little bit of proof to say, like, is this my item? Now, obviously, with your situation, you don't need a picture. It wasn't a broken item. But I see a lot of people say, like, oh, this arrived broken. It was only $5. I'm just going to refund it and move on. No, get
Mhm.
that picture. Get your proof, because worked out good for me this week. I was so
Yeah.
sure. As soon as I got that message, I'm like, there is no way that dish broke. Just no way in this world. So,
I know I'm not the only one, but do you cringe when you get that notification,
Yes.
the
It's the
message
worst sound in the world.
before
It is
even looking at the
absolutely the
phone?
worst
I'm like,
sound.
oh gosh, what now?
I know. And I turned off my eBay notifications so I don't get, like, like or something like that on something that you've looked at. I turned off those notifications because, it's the same sound as with eBay. I don't need multiple times a day
Mm-hmm.
getting a price drop notification or this and that. But my husband hasn't turned off his notifications. So I I'll hear his phone and I'll be like, oh no. Because currently, right now, for my eBay app, the only notifications I get are sales, and then if there's like a return request or a message. I don't get all
Right,
those random like
right.
price reduced notifications. So I know if I get one of those sounds, like it's usually something bad. Every once in a while,
Yeah,
it's a nice message, but normally it's a not a nice message. And I don't get a ton of returns. You think I would with having free returns. I don't, knock on wood, but I think it also has
that's
to do with what I
surprising.
sell.
That's
I think it
surprising.
though, I don't sell a lot of clothes. I think if I sold a lot of clothes, it'd be different. But for what
Yeah,
I sell, it's vintage stuff that people want. So they're less
yeah,
likely to return it unless it broke.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think if I sold clothes, it'd be different. And I don't think I'd put free returns on clothing items if I sold a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they do tend to come back more often than anything else,
Yeah.
and sometimes people open up return requests and they never send them back. So yeah,
Yep.
it's what it
Which is
is.
nice. That's
So,
happened a couple times for me.
well, I think
Yep.
we're just about at our time.
That's what
So
I was going to say. I think we're going to go. Thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully you can
thank you for
update us what
thank you
happened.
everybody who's here, still here.
Yes.
Listening to
Yeah,
us
and if you're
rant and
watching
rave.
this on the playback, if you made it to the end, leave us a message and let us know you watched till the end of the video. And
Yay.
otherwise, I'll be back next week. Maybe Rachel will be with
Okay,
us. You never
okay,
know.
all
Thanks so
right.
much for watching. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye, guys. Now I gotta figure out how to end this. Here we go. All right. Have a great
Oh,
week. Don't forget to
technology.
subscribe. Yep. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.